Hey, greetings, everybody. Rob Thompson here with S2 Technical and the 411 for the 719, and I'm here with the awesome,
Sarah Townsend from Phoenix Fitness.
yes, and welcome back, Sarah.
Thanks.
Today, this module, we're going to talk about Facebook, specifically Facebook profiles, pages, and groups. Both Sarah and I's business center around engagement on social media, and Facebook is a large part of that platform. Any thoughts to share before we demo this, Sarah?
Yes, I think the most impactful thing I've heard about Facebook groups, and as you know, that's where I really run the heart of everything that I do is through my Facebook group. That's where my community comes together. But use your Facebook group as a party, and you are the host of that party. So for your group, you don't want to be the person that's like, look at me and what I'm doing, and these are the things I'm giving out. It's more like you're getting people to intermingle and do things, and you are just like sponsoring those events, if that makes sense.
Makes sense. I like it too.
Yeah.
So what you see here before us is Sarah's Phoenix Fitness group, and to just uh, start at the beginning here, for folks who don't know, there are three kind of components of Facebook you should be aware of. The first one is your profile, and so when we talk about your profile, we're talking about the individual profile for your person. Here is my Facebook profile, and each one of these components has aspects to it. One thing I recommend is that you know that if you enter into this domain of social media, your profile needs to be pretty neutral. Like for example, I don't post politics or anything necessarily inflammatory on mine. Because, I've had some folks in the last couple of years who try to have a business profile and try to have a personal profile, but it's been my experience that people don't want. If I had a separate profile that said just Rob Thompson Associate Broker or Rob Thompson Social Media Manager, people don't engage with that profile. They want to engage with the human. So to that end, my profile is closed except to my friends, and unless I make posts and specifically public, like my Good Morning Wiki here that I put out across the platforms and highlight Phoenix on. But so just know with your profile, this is your announcement to the world, and people again don't want to be sold. My experience is if you are communicating from a profile specifically oriented towards business, the engagement's lower. They want to see you. They want to see your humanity, and then your job is located in the profile, right? So that they know what you do. And another piece on this for the profile is 4 out of 5 content pieces you want to be not related to your profession. So as you're posting on your profile, think about that. A
Yeah, some
community
people
topic.
are checking to see if you're a bot on
That
here,
too.
right? And who you are. Like, do you have a family? What is this person about? What are their values? And like, what are they doing on their free time? And do I connect with them as a person? So you don't want to consistently be posting just things for your business, like Rob was saying. Like, I post a lot about my daughter or funny things about, like, we have a mini pig or our dogs, or my husband does is a race car driver, and so we do stuff like that that makes people be like, wow, that's fun, I like following her and I feel connected to her story.
Bingo, you nailed it. And
Yeah.
as you can see on mine, most of it's humorous, funny coffee memes with weather wikis, and then occasional shout outs to AI and technology veterans. Uh, Very few of my posts are like, "Hey, I do social media management. Use me." Right? I do personally. I would emphasize this to people too is people you do need. It's okay to once in a while. And I'll straight up say this. I say, "Hey, shameless plug. I do social media management, and I could love to earn your business." But I always preface it with that kind of shameless plug statement too. So it's kind of funny, tongue in cheek, but it's also a statement to people that hey, this is what I do. But I do those maybe one every 14 posts or one every
Yeah.
2 weeks. So that's our profile. That's the engine behind it all, right? Then we have Facebook pages. A Facebook page uh, Facebook is obviously trying to promote these pages quite a bit. They allow you to do ads and things from your pages that you can't do from groups or as a group, right? However, there's a few things to know, in my opinion, about pages. One is they don't get a lot of engagement. They're open to the public, and of course, by their very nature. And one neat thing about it is you can see the analytics on a page let's see here. Let me find an example. Insights and ads, right? Facebook does a good job of showing the reach of page content. And so you should definitely have a page for your business, but I use them. What I'll do is I'll share content to my page or a page, and then I'll share content from the page to a group. And any thoughts on pages there?
Yeah, absolutely. I always think of it as like a billboard, right? Like they're effective to be seen if people are trying to look up your business, but they're not interactive at all.
I like that
Um,
page. They're not interactive.
yeah. So people are not coming there to do your challenges. They're not coming there to talk to you most of the time. They're just trying, it's more like, is this a legit business? That's what they're looking up. So it's not very interactive. People are not going to spend time on that, but you do need one just so that people can look you up and see that you're an actual business.
I like that. They're not interactive. They're billboards.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great sentiment there. Here's my associate broker page. I have 1,600 likes and followers, but I get very little engagement off of it because, like you said, it's just a billboard. But what I'll often do is share content here that I then share to the world from that page in other venues, right? So you gotta if it's a billboard, you have to run around and show people that billboard.
And something me and Rob both do, because we kind of forget about those platforms because the pages aren't interactive and we're interacting on our groups, is a lot of that is AI generated things that we've already made. And we would like to preface that because we never want to put like a facade on for you guys that we're doing organic content for all of this. Like this right here, the Phoenix Strong confidence comes from discipline and training. They're quotes that we did create together, me and Rob, through people that have made those, right? We compiled a list of quotes that really touched us, but then we put it on a format that is constantly posting those for us, so we're not doing them.
Yep. Uh, when we talk about the battle rhythm and comp plan, we can dig really into that. One thought on that is so much of what is out there is noise, right? And to get through that noise level, you have to have some kind of consistent content going out. So we do it with value added, poignant content. But from these, we are establishing a communication floor, and for your business, you'll want to do that too.
Yep.
The other side of that is, so we've got profiles, we've got pages, and then we have groups. There are public and there are private groups. I recommend private groups. The public groups are just glorified pages. They're open to the public. The Facebook has really limited a lot of the controls that you can have in there. But more to the point too, private groups, they are your club. It's your clubhouse, right? It's space that you control. You can control who can join. It's your private clubhouse where you're talking to your folks. And so for any given profession, I highly recommend creating a closed group. And then you invite people into that closed group, and it creates that sense of unity too.
Yeah. And the mistake people make on these groups is don't invite everyone. So you'll hear a lot of people say, like, invite everyone that is in your friends list, invite everyone that you know and their friends, invite them to invite their friends. That is not the case. You do not want to do that. So in this group, you will see that I solely have people that are interested in fitness, mostly firefighters, right? Mostly firefighters or veterans or police officers or things like that, or people that are in our general fitness. And the reason being is if you have people that don't interact on your page, it gets less views, right? So you want to be getting people who want to interact on your group.
That's a great point. It applies to pages and groups both. So there's a lot of folks who are posting in recent months the meme saying, "Hey, it takes zero effort to support a small business. Small business, go like my page." But they're setting themselves up for failure actually, because Facebook penalizes. So if you have 935 followers on your page, but only 9 are engaging, or 9.3, or you have 1% of your followers engaging, Facebook actually limits the reach of the page because you don't have a lot of followers. So if you're going to follow a page, make sure that you're going to engage with that page's content. That's another aspect of it.
Yeah.
The same for the group too.
Or you're diluting.
You're diluting the reach and diluting the power. Engage. And that's what a closed group does too. If somebody's joining your closed group, they're going to be your authentic followers, right? One other thought on the groups too is take advantage of the membership questions, can see here on Phoenix Fitness's group, we have several membership questions that are gauging interest. Are you looking to take a CPAT? Are you interested in general fitness? Are you interested in custom nutrition planning? And what's your email? Not mandatory, but we do offer discounts. And so send out those emails. But from the word go, set up these membership questions and get those emails and create an off Facebook mechanism for your content too.
Yes. If you do not have an email list, you don't have anything. I hate to say that, but you need an email list to constantly make communication with people, because when people think of firefighter fitness, especially for women, I want them to think of me first. And to do that, just like Rob was saying, there needs to be, and we'll talk about this more in the future, but there needs to be a communication plan where they're seeing me once or twice a week or 3 times a week. And the reason you guys are so familiar with the brands that you know and love, like Nike or anything like that, is because you're constantly seeing them appear. If they didn't appear, you fall out of favor, right?
Bingo. Yep. It's critically important to establish that off Facebook communication medium too. Sarah and I were just talking about this before this course. What happens if Facebook suspends your account, or what happens if you send too many PMs? Then you're losing your ability for any given period of time. In my case, I have so many tabs open on Facebook right now that Facebook thinks I'm a bot, and so I'm getting limited in my ability to quickly open pages. I have to intentionally slow down and give it 30 seconds before I open a new Facebook tab or operate within just one tab. It's very interesting.
Or you go in Facebook timeout, and then you have to use your other routes of communication. So you need to have multiple routes.
You do. Funniest one for me is I one day was like, I wonder what my actual reach is and how many places could I put this content, not thinking that it would flag as spam, right? But Facebook flagged me after 4 or 5 hours of me dropping this value-added content in multiple locations. I got put in Facebook timeout, and I appealed it, and then they denied the appeal and extended the ban. And so I did it again, and they extended the ban again. And I said, okay, lesson learned. I'm going to stop. And I was in Facebook jail for 7 days. It was terrible.
Yeah. So let's talk about building. I say the group first, because the group for me is the most impactful. So if anything, and you're like, I only have time today to build something really short and whatever, I would say build a group. So if you click on the Phoenix Fitness program, Firefighter Fitness, like the homepage, you'll see that it shows me lifting. So it's showing something about fitness on there, but it's also showing my firefighter bunker stuff. So that's all photos of my stuff and me. And it lets people know, like, we're a firefighter based program for females that will be taught by a female, right? So it lets you know in that picture who we are and what we're doing. I think that's a big part of what you need to be doing. I could have put the Phoenix Fitness logo, but that doesn't tell people what it is.
Let's look at the 411 here. Let's see. It should be number 2, but let's see here. So here's another big group that we have here in town. If this will pop up. Why is that? So the 411 for the 719 is we have 75,000 members in there. I'm just looking to see. This might be a function of that limitation that I'm in right now for Facebook. Let's see. That's interesting. Well, that's really interesting. Okay. Well, it seems like I'm in Facebook jail for a minute. Case in point. But yeah, I agree. Keep your banner relative to what you're doing. Here's our jobs group where we've got it clearly titled. But to Sarah's point, I should probably replace the logo in here with people working. That would be a more applicable one than the Valley. So agreed. And I agree too. A Facebook group, that closed tribe is the critical aspect. You could argue that the pages are a good add-on, but throw that group up, create that closed group, and start inviting people into that.
Yeah.
And how I do it is I'll answer a question in other groups, and then I'll say, hey, if you like this kind of content, join our group here. But I always add value followed by the invitation, the call to action.
Yeah, there's several ways to get people to your group. So exactly like that. I do that frequently within fire groups that are like firefighter fitness or just general whatever. How you'll let's go by how you'll build your group. So when I very first started, I looked up every firefighter or women's firefighter or CPAT or whatever your business is going to relate to. And then I would post something within that group that wasn't outside of their rules and it gave value and content to that group, so it benefited that group and you're not being rude to that group, because you will get kicked out of other people's groups, right?
Good.
So for women's firefighters, I would be like, easy ways for short women to throw a high ladder, like a high shoulder ladder, right? It means we're throwing a ladder off our shoulders and it's hard for short people. And so I would give them 5 exercises that would help them throw that. And then I would say, to check out more, see at Phoenix Fitness, right? Now I would tag my group. And when I would do that, I would get like 20 asks a day that would generate to come into our group. Now, another way I would do that is by linking in with people that I knew were already trying to become firefighters through those groups that were putting out like, hey, I'm looking to do a CPAT, or hey, I'm looking to become a firefighter. And I would DM them content that was specific to them. Like, hey, I see that you're a busy mom and you're trying to become a firefighter. Here are 3 free workouts. Enjoy. And if you want to like see our group and be involved in our group, here's our link. Giving free content to people are afraid to do it, but really it is the key to building success. You want to give really, really good value for free so that people trust you and what you're doing.
It's authentic too. It cuts through the noise.
Yeah.
The average consumer sees 6,000 ads a day. How do you cut through that noise? You give true, authentic, value-added content. Here is, let's see if I can pop this over here. If that'll pop up. Okay, yeah, here's a good example of a post yesterday where this is a business mastermind group, and we're trying to drive home the point of the potentiality of every interaction on Facebook or TikTok or social media, which we'll get into, but other social media platforms is an opportunity to give that value added content. If you give that value added content, you will get followers, and ultimately they'll follow your business. And here's a good example of someone asked a question about is this actually a value added engagement, and it led to my response here where I told them, hey, let's see, where did I write that? But basically I outlined the basics of a communication plan for them. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, here you go. So value added content. I was thinking about this last night too. Right there, the highlighted section is could be a seminar, but here I've given that away and said, hey, here's how you use Facebook for your business, right? And ultimately, that might be a coaching client, right? Sarah does this all the time too with her content, and it's effective.
Yeah, for our group, to ensure that people are interacting on that group too, we do monthly challenges. So right now we have 100 air squats or 50 pull-ups challenge, right? And every time that people do that, they have to post to the group. They go into a drawing for free and they win gift cards or our Phoenix Fitness hat. So you'll see the first post on there is someone that said, hey, I did 75 air squats today. The next one is 100 air squats, 100 burpees. Yep. So you'll see a vast majority of our people are posting that they're doing the challenge right now. And that has people interacting all the time, and it makes the group exciting.
It does, and it's and because it's a closed group, they're part of a closed collective. In Sarah's group, I routinely share my fitness journey myself, and it's putting that content out there. It's a mental model. I think all of what we're talking about is engaging in this mental model that says these platforms, and in particular for this module, it's your profile, your page, your closed group. It's a mental model of this is how I'm going to communicate, and I'm going to. So for me, it's always a thought of, hey, okay, I'm doing this activity. Can I share this? What platform can I share this on that adds value for people and demonstrates what we do? And so
now, go ahead, Rob.
Oh no, yeah, I think that if you think about these platforms in that way, then you'll have success.
Yeah, absolutely. If you scroll up just a little bit, Rob, too, on there, you'll see that I have featured items. So like how to pass your CPAT the first time. We have our rules on there. We have like a little welcome thing for people on there. So things that are really impactful for you guys, like I have my testimonials on there. You want to post to the top because most new clients for you are only going to scroll down 3 or 4 times before they decide whether or not they're going to be on here. So you want your most impactful things in that featured pins section. So testimonials are great, challenges are great. If you have a webinar or something that you hosted, those are great, but you want them to go to the top.
And one more thought on that too. Know that the majority of people are going to view your group from a mobile device. So on Chrome, if you push Command Option and J or go to View Mobile View, you can see what it looks like on a phone. And so you come in here and see this is your attention getter. This is what they're going to see on a mobile, right? They're going to see the CPAT. They're going to see the Phoenix Strong tag, and then they're going to go right in. And the next thing they're going to see is the challenge results, right? So just
all impactful things.
Yep. Just remember the screen real estate is much different on a mobile than it is on that. So always be looking at that too.
Yep.
Cool. So we talked about profiles, profiles being your voice to the world. And just know that if you come at this and I've had real estate agents say, well, I don't want people on my personal profile. And I'll tell them, I get that, but this is your voice to the world, and they're going to look for that validation, that humanity. They're going to want to check you out. Then your page is that billboard. I love that analogy, Sarah. And then the group is where you can flash that billboard and say, hey, look,
it's your party. It's your own party in there.
It is, and again, keep your competition out because this is your playground. This is your closed group, and your competitors ought not to be in your domain unless you're cooperating with them at some point.
And this is your bread and butter, guys. Even if you're younger and you're like TikTok is more impactful, or because I know our younger generations are all about TikTok, but you need a group. You need a group landing page where people feel a part of your community, and you can't make a community on TikTok because they're not in a group.
So you can invite people into your group from TikTok. Yep. Hey, join me on Facebook at.
Yep.
Right on. Okay.
All right.
See you on the next one.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, wrong button. Here we go.